My name is Paul Puckorious, and I'm President and CEO of Puckorious and Associates Incorporated. We're a water and wastewater management consulting firm. Our main objective of an independent water management consulting firm is to evaluate independently various type of treatment programs, whether they're chemical or non-chemical type treatment programs. And we were asked to evaluate the performance of a non-chemical device known as the WAVE. Actually, this particular presentation I'm giving today has been presented at the Cooling Technology Institute meeting in Houston, Texas. This particular non-chemical device that we utilized was evaluated at a small cooling tower system in Florida. Our evaluation actually was going to show whether it did a good protection of that cooling water system without the use of any chemicals whatsoever. And the client was very interested in being able to eliminate chemicals due to the hazards of handling it and the toxicity of some of these chemicals and disposal concerns. So he was interested not only in replacing that and making it more safe for the individuals that are handling the maintenance of the cooling system, but also he was interested in saving water. The cooling tower system that we evaluated, the WAVE unit, is actually two cooling towers joined together. These cooling towers have 400-ton capability. They are galvanized steel. They are connected, of course, with mild steel lines to the heat transfer units, which are DX units. And those DX units, of course, have copper coils in them. We ran 3 different tests for the planktonics and 2 different tests for the sessile organisms. And the type of testing is done is we actually do incubation of the microbiological organisms on samples that are sent to a laboratory that can actually provide detailed evaluation of the performance and how many microorganisms are still remaining in that water sample. We also do that on site with what we call dip slides. From the standpoint of doing the sessile, we use 2 types of corrosion coupons, and we suspend those in the cooling tower water, and we determine to see if there's any adhering of the sessile microorganisms, the ones that stick to the surface, on that particular the corrosion coupon. We also, of course, want to measure one other area that's very important, and that's the corrosion aspects that may be occurring in that cooling water system. So we use regular mild steel corrosion coupons for that evaluation, as well as copper corrosion coupons, because there's copper components within the cooling water system. The third area that we evaluate is the amount of deposits that may be occurring in the cooling water system. And the only way we could evaluate that was really looking at the system itself and the fill within that cooling tower. And there was still a lot of scale present in that particular cooling tower fill. It was cleaned so that we would start with a clean surface to determine if the WAVE unit would actually control whatever we have in regard to deposits that might be occurring on that fill again. After 9 months of operation, we evaluated that fill, and it was still clean as we cleaned. So the WAVE unit was effective in actually controlling scale as well. Every one of the samples we did for the 9 months period, every one of them were below 10 to the 4th, so it was within industry standards of good biological control. We also did the same thing for the sessile microorganisms, and since there is no direct correlation today and there's no industry standards, we were very, very low in the amount of biomass that we found. So again, it did an excellent job of controlling the sessile. The corrosion rates were a little bit high in 2 of the analysis that we ran, but most of the time we're also within the industry standards. The other area that we evaluated was water conservation and water savings. We were able to carry concentrations in the cooling system to 5 versus the 3 they had before, so it really basically cut the water usage almost in half and also cut the discharge water in half, saving the customer a substantial amount of water. So this independent study that we performed, again, I must emphasize it was independent, and we're using the guidelines of the industry for evaluation of water treatment programs, including non-chemical devices, showed that this particular device was very, very effective and produced exactly what the customer had in mind.